Welcome back to Cogeco News. Clarke Heipel here in studio. Today is PTSD Awareness Day. I'm very pleased to be joined by Dave Innes, a local para-athlete, and you have lived experience with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. For someone who has not experienced that, what is it like when you go through an episode?
Well, I know for me it's not even something that really was something I made public knowledge up until not long ago. But I know for me, I haven't really let it control my life. I've kind of seek the proper people to get the tools I need to control it. But for me, it's more or less when I don't have control of something, or when I can't do something, can't figure something out, I can get mad real easy, like the snap of a finger. I can get mad. Years ago, it'd be I'd get mad and I would punch holes in walls. I would throw stuff. I would so. I'm not at that point anymore. I've learned to not let it basically take over my life, where I control it.
And when you look at the acronym of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, it's implying that there was a traumatic event, and this is following that fact. And perhaps do you relive that experience? Before I get into asking you what that experience was, when you get into that state of mind, are you reliving what happened to you?
Not for me, and I know every scenario is different. For me, I don't really remember my accident at all, but I know I was pinned under the vehicle when I had my accident. So what they're saying is they figure it's related to that not having control, not being able to get out from under the truck. So I think that's where that stems from, and I do realize that every case, every scenario is different. So it's depending on that individual to get the proper help to learn the proper tools.
And going back to your accident, I know I've interviewed you many times and we've shared the story many times, but it's a story worth repeating for people who haven't heard your story. What was that accident? What happened? And when did it happen? And tell us the details of it.
So I had my accidents 32 years ago now. So we were in Gagetown, New Brunswick, training exercise to go to Bosnia. The 5-ton truck we were in hit a patch of black ice on the highway, and we went off a 30-foot cliff end over end. So the truck ended up landing on me, and I broke my back in 5 places. I broke my neck, so I'm lucky to be where I am.
Having lived through that experience, having gone through challenges, conquering PTSD, so to speak, what would your advice be to others who really haven't been able to process an experience that really haunts them to this day and are really suffering from this disorder?
Yeah, definitely my familiar phrase I've been using lately is it's okay to not be okay. You never know, because they say PTSD, it's kind of the silent disorder that you don't really know if somebody has it. But for those, family support for me was huge. Friend support was huge, and I just made a conscious decision not to let it be a part of my life, so to speak. And I realize everyone's cases, there's some people that their cases are pretty severe, but there is help out there. And so I would just suggest, if you're not even sure if that's what your symptoms are, or that's not what it is, seek help, talk about it. It's the best way to go. I've had friends that have committed suicide due to PTSD. I have friends that are not in a good place a lot of the time. So it's just, seek help, talk about it. It doesn't make you a weaker person to talk about it whatsoever.
When I first learned of PTSD and kind of hearing stories and learning experiences from people, my mind always jumps to military or police. But it could be anyone, anywhere that had a traumatic experience that haunts them, correct?
Could be. For me, my accident was military related, but it was a car accident. So it's not technically from doing tours overseas or anything like that. It could be, there's people that could be from sexual trauma, could be from childhood abuse, could be from a life-changing car accident. The list goes on and on. So it's definitely not just first responder or military related.
To close this interview, you're very public on Facebook. You certainly share your thoughts, your challenges, your triumphs, your disappointments. Are you a resource to people out there that may want to reach out and ask you, what should I do? Or I'm struggling right now. Would you, how do you approach those situations when someone reaches out to you?
Yeah, 100%. I've got a big veterans following on Facebook. So I'm constantly in communication with a lot of them over social media, whether it be Messenger, where they don't, they choose to talk to me privately. But yeah, I make it very public that if someone's having an issue, somebody needs to talk, I'm there, and I don't hold judgment. If somebody needs to talk about something personal, I'm definitely there.
That's Dave Innes. Dave, thank you for coming into the studio today.
Perfect. Thanks.
That is Dave Innes sharing his experience with PTSD.